This may come as a hard pill to swallow, but no one really cares about your personal development journey, and it shouldn't make the least bit of difference to you individually. If you seek any type of external validation for trying to make positive choices to progress your life in whatever direction you truly seek on the inside, you're going to fail every single time. Personal development journey, keyword personal. It deals you, yourself, and that's it. There's nobody else in your personal development journey. No one really cares, honestly. If you make the decision to not work out, to not go to the gym, to eat McDonald's every single day, to smoke weed, to drink every single day, completely destroy your body, at the end of the day, you have your own body. No one can be inside your body at the end of the day. It sounds so stupid, honestly, but people do things for every single other person except themselves. I think it's great that people want to better their lives, want to get in better shape, want to stop smoking, want to stop drinking so much for their kids. I think that's wonderful, honestly. That's one of the reasons I actually stopped smoking weed myself. Got to the point where it was embarrassing. My son was getting of age where he could see me outside the car smoking, knew exactly what was going on. You even called it out, you know? And I knew as he got older, the likelihood of him actually adopting the bad habit of smoking either cigarettes or weed would increase greatly if he saw me continuously smoking. I mean, it's just a proven statistic. If you have family members that smoke cigarettes, the likelihood of you smoking cigarettes when you get older, it's just a greater, it's just, it's increases greatly. It's just a statistic, it's a fact, you know? But I think it's great to want to better yourself or your family. But at the end of the day, you have to do it for yourself because it's a very lonely journey, honestly. It's very lonely to not be able to indulge in whatever bad habits you were in prior, especially with food. Like if you're trying to lose weight, going to the gym, at the end of the day, if you don't get up and get off your ass and go to the gym or do some fucking push ups or go walk, do some type of exercising, at the end of the day, doesn't affect any single other person except yourself. If you choose to eat the bad food, go to McDonald's, the only person it affects is you, you know? You're gonna gain the fat, you're gonna gain the weight, you're gonna feel like shit, you know? It only affects you, you know? So no one really cares, honestly. Like, if you're looking for a fucking great job, man, you might get it from a family or friend once you actually see some good results. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's what they're going to say is good job. That's it. What else is there to say? You know, like you did what you were supposed to do. Congratulations. And that's what it is. It's what you're supposed to do, especially as a man. If you're out here out of shape, just lacking across the board, lazy, just getting by in every aspect of life, if you do what you're supposed to do and get to the point of where you're supposed to be at, don't expect like a big hoorah fucking party and celebration, honestly. People are just gonna be like, that's what you're supposed to do. And so it just comes full circle and you have to do it for yourself. Like if you've gotten down the wrong path to the point where you're just smoking weed in a dead end job, minimum wage, not making what you really want to make, what you believe truly deep down inside your full potential is, the only way you're gonna be able to really, you know, fulfill your hopes and dreams is to really lock in and to understand that it's gonna fucking suck. It sucks, honestly. Like it really, it's not fun. Like completely getting out of the negative hypnotic rhythm. It's not fun whatsoever. To lose that 70 pounds, it wasn't fun, honestly. I mean, there was quite a bit of not going out to restaurants, especially at the beginning, especially if you want to get that weight off in the beginning. It depends on how dialed in you want to be. Like, if you want to be ripped as fuck, like an absolute top tier individual, great shape, it's going to take that much more effort. But if you just want to get the weight down, get rid of that gut, get rid of that just nasty old fucking fat, I mean, it's just really about losing the weight. And you can do that. It just takes time, takes focus, takes effort, but it sucks though at first, especially. It really fucking sucks. Honestly, like not being able to go out to eat, eating such a small amount that you're not used to, especially if you're, like I used to be, just a binge eater, you know. It really sucks. Honestly, straight up. Like it sucks. Then at the end of the day, no one cares. At first when I started losing weight, it was like great. But then, just lost the discipline, started going out partying still, going out to the club, having drinks, fucking 2 a.m. We're hungry, fucking been drinking all night, smoking weed, going to IHOP, fucking getting the breakfast sampler. I mean, do you really think, that's going to be, congruent with the healthy diet of trying to lose fat, trying to lose weight, getting, be in great shape? Unless you're like a boxer or some, extravagant athlete, if you're out of shape and just fat as fuck, that ain't it. It's not gonna be congruent with your goals. And that's what I went through at first. I started losing weight. It was that inner battle of, wanting to do the right thing, wanting to hit the gym, wanted to try to be mindful of my eating, but then just the same old habits: going out, getting drunk with friends, smoking weed, meaningless sex, hooking up. It's just a vicious cycle, honestly. I mean, it really just goes hand in hand with just, I mean, it comes into a negative hypnotic rhythm. It's just like miserable, honestly. It's really what it is. And I had to step away from that. It wasn't fun stepping away from that, but I knew I was tired of it. Like, I was tired of it. It'd been just over and over again, the same thing, not being in the shape I desired, looking in the mirror, being like, in high school, I was fucking ripped. Like, what the fuck, what happened, Like, what the fuck happened to the point where I got a fucking gut? Like, yeah, I mean, I'm like in average shape. I'm in okay shape. I lost some weight, but that ain't who I want to be. I don't want to sit there and go to the beach and fucking be some fucking, just some slob. Like, gotta wear a shirt at the beach. It's embarrassing, honestly. Like, what type of example do you want to be for your children? My son used to sit there and joke and laugh, be like, "Yeah, you're fat," because I'd always try to get him to do push-ups and sit-ups and, just the basic shit to have a good life. And now he can't say none of that shit. He sees me fucking ripped, six-pack, ain't nothing to say. You can't even make the joke of, "Dad, you're fat." It's like, it's not even like something that's even in his vocabulary anymore. But it's all from the decisions that I made and to really lock in. It didn't really take that much time. With the proper macros, proper exercises. I mean, shit, I lost to 70 pounds really in about a year and a half, honestly, just locking the fuck in. I was serious about it. I was committed. I was completely committed to stopping the weed, stopping the alcohol, stopping the bad eating. I mean, I still have, my days where I want to indulge in food just because that's the, like, you're always going to have to eat. So that temptation, that vice is always going to really be there. But once you can consume what you indulge in terms of food, that's when you really start to see the real level of discipline, like the real improvements. If you can control what you consume nutritionally, on top of already not smoking any weed, not drinking anything, not just going out there and just trying to fuck whatever, your life will get drastically better. And that's just on top of already doing the reading, doing all the, you know, manifestation, all that bullshit. Really, it's just action, and honestly, that really was really what makes the difference. Honestly, you can sit here and think your way and all that bullshit and fucking, you know, manifest and pray and hope and wish. But I mean, unless you take the first step and just take action and just either, start working out, stop eating so much, apply for that job, learn that skill set, get that license, nothing's gonna fucking change, honestly. Like, you're just gonna be doing the same old shit year after year, planning, preparing, and still be in the same fucking position for whatever it is. And so, to come full circle again. Like, if you don't do it for yourself, if you do it for any external validation, for that good job, man. If you need that fucking jack dude at the gym to give you the pat on the back, like, yeah, it's cool if someone gives you some recognition, especially someone who's in really good shape that sees you actually making strides and sees your results. Everybody likes that shit. Hey, good shit, man. You're sitting there making some good gains. Hey, it's a little pat on the back, a little positive reinforcement, but like, if you're doing it for that, if you need that to really like do it for anybody else, like, I mean, honestly, that's some bitch ass shit for real. Like, I just never needed anybody to ever like, give me a pat on the back. Like, it never meant anything to me, honestly. I just always wanted to be proud of what I saw in the mirror, you know. And at this day, I'm goddamn proud of what I see in the mirror, honestly, because I know the work I put into it. I know the discipline that I exhibited day after day, relentlessly, honestly. It was lonely as fuck. Lonely as fuck on the weekends, not going out to eat when I really was trying to get that weight off, you know. Now it's a little bit more freedom to it, it just takes time. It doesn't last forever dieting. It doesn't go on forever. You don't have to fucking starve yourself forever, but if you want to see fast results, it takes proper macros. It doesn't take just starving. It takes the proper macros of the proteins, carbs, fats, so on and so forth. But even with weed, like, not smoking with any of my friends, not smoking and then overindulging in some fucking snacks and watching some stupid ass movie and fucking going having meaningless sex, like fucking weed and sex go hand in hand. That shit's, that fucking goes hand in hand, honestly. Great time. But, I was just tired of that shit. Got fucking eat up by some fucking mosquitoes earlier or something on my arm. But yeah, I mean, no one really gives a fuck. Your parents, your family might give you, a pat on the back. But, if you just keep on going down that wrong path and whatever you're doing, whether it's weed, alcohol, drugs, overeating, crime, if you're in the fucking streets and you just keep on going on that bad path, everybody's just like, yo, it ain't gonna end well for you, man. It ain't gonna end well for you. You're gonna learn the hard way. Like, eventually people just get to the point where they're like, this dude's just gonna have to learn the hard way. Or, like, just like my family, like, let's stop smoking weed. Like, at first it was like, yo, you shouldn't be doing this then. It's like, I mean, when I was growing up, like, that's the thing a lot of kids are doing. I mean, it was just smoking weed in high school, like, everybody knew what was going on. My parents were like, yeah, I mean, they never encouraged it, never were, like, cool with it, but they were just like, like, that's just, I mean, he's in high school, he's in a social crowd, he has friends, they're going to parties, that's what they're doing. But as I started getting in trouble, just being, doing things I wasn't supposed to, it was definitely like like, you shouldn't be doing this. But it gets to the point where, like, they just know, like, he's not gonna stop, just like even with like being in the streets, they know, like, he's not gonna stop, like, he's just gonna keep on going. And like, they're never gonna like accept it, but at the end of the day, they got their own lives to live. And you just keep on going on that wrong path, you know. They always get that saying, laugh now, cry later. You're always sitting there having a good time. You're always sitting there putting off that end result. That's coming. And then, boom, you sit your ass down. Next thing you know, it ain't nobody laughing no more, The only person laughing still. Now it's time to cry. And so, like I said, no one really cares, Like, it's going to get to the point where people are just like, yo, he's going to do what he wants to do. They're going to do what they want to do. So be it, And until you turn it around and really make some real progress, like, just know, like, even when you fucking make the progress, even when you give up the smoking, the drinking, the drugs, even when you go legit, get a fucking real job or a fucking real career, a real business, people aren't gonna like, that's what you were supposed to do all along. It's not until you actually make strides ahead and actually really get ahead and achieve shit that either your family and friends haven't achieved before, or just you've just done it for so long, they're like, they actually gonna gain some admiration and respect for you, you know? Family might love you and shit, but like, honestly, I mean, like, I got friends that I don't really, I really don't respect them in terms of, like they're like I've known them. I know they're good people at the end of the day, but like in terms of respect, like I don't really truly respect them. I don't admire them. I wouldn't want to be them. I wouldn't want to be of their character, you know? Like I wouldn't want to be anybody else, but like I wouldn't want to be like them. I wouldn't want to be, you know, like if I had to choose, I wouldn't want to be in their shoes whatsoever. You know, if that makes sense. And so any type of external validation is just meaningless. You have to just be proud of what you want to see in the mirror. And at the end of the day, be proud of what you see in the mirror, and no one's other opinion. Like people's words are meaningless to me, honestly. Like when they sit there and they say all this and that, like if someone's in a position I want to be in, I'm willing to listen to what they have to say. If they have a result that I'm looking to obtain, I'm willing to listen to what they have to say. Just common sense. Why wouldn't you want to listen to somebody who's in a position that you want to be in? At least hear them out. You don't have to do what they say. I'm not just gonna jump when someone says jump. But if someone's has a very successful business and I'm looking to be in that field, yeah, of course I'm gonna take the time to listen to what they have to say, analyze it. But with my level of discipline and my character, I'm gonna be able to analyze what they're saying. And there's plenty of people out there who are trying to give you the runaround and have deceitful intentions. That's why you have to have such a strong character, such a strong will, that we're able to really take a step back, think things through, and then make a strong decision. So just be proud of what you see in the mirror. And don't be looking for anybody's approval. Don't be looking for anybody's pat on the back. This is worthless. If you want to stop smoking, if you want to stop drinking, if you want to stop doing drugs, go legit, lose the weight, go to the gym, exercise. You have to do it for yourself. You got to dig deep, per they say. And just never fucking tap on us. We all fuck up. I was fucking 220 pounds, and I ain't no fucking 6'9" fucking giant. Like, I ain't no big ass fucking tall ass dude, And, I smoke weed every single day. I probably smoke more weed than like majority of people would ever be able to smoke in their lives. Honestly, a crazy amount. Went out there and partied. Done it all, for the most part. I just was tired of it. I wanted a better life for myself. And of course, my son was a motivational piece in my life. Just hearing him, calling my bullshit and seeing, and just not wanting him to be of the same fucking influence, just made the change. But any external validation is meaningless. Do it for yourself at the end of the day.